Guys, why is this coin pumping?
In the ever-evolving landscape of the internet, the revolution is underway. A pioneering force implementing the groundbreaking solution of bringing the multi-billion-dollar creator economy to Web3, opening a not yet existing portal between the world of Web2 and the 3D internet, the present and the future. Enter Matera protocol.
Gone are the days of static web pages and mundane browsing. With the emergence of real-time 3D tools like Unity and Unreal Engine, we are witnessing a paradigm shift in how we engage with the digital world. The concept of the Metaverse, referred to as 3D immersive content, is no longer confined to science fiction. It's a tangible reality where virtual events, social interactions, and commerce converge into a seamless 3D experience, transcending the boundaries of traditional browsing. At the helm of this revolution stands Matera Protocol, founded by visionary Landvault CEO Samuel Huber. With a track record of pioneering advancements in the tech industry, Matera Protocol is poised to reshape the digital landscape. Find out why Matera is the future of the 3D internet.
The CEO of Landvault, which is a Metaverse tech company, started that in 2018 and grew it from C, Series A, Series B. So today I'm mainly responsible for kind of managing the layer of VPs who are actually running the day-to-day sales, product, marketing, and also, of course, fundraising. Still quite involved on the sales side. And then Matera was actually a project where we initially conceptualized as a product of Landvault. That was almost 2 years ago, and then we refined it, and then we actually figured that it would be better to have it as a separate foundation, as a separate entity completely, because the vision of Matera is actually much broader than Landvault, and Landvault can be a user of Matera, but many other companies can also use it. So we decided to break the company apart, so it's a completely separate entity now. That is, of course, denominated with tokens. And here I've assembled a team. We have a team of about 8 people now, purely on the Matera side, just completed also a round of funding. So I'm also responsible for fundraising, general strategy, and quite involved on the marketing side as we are getting close to launch our token later this year. Landvault, we are a Metaverse tech company. We provide a SaaS platform for enterprise clients and brands who want to create, publish, and monetize their own virtual world, their own immersive experiences on the web. So we're making a big bet that the Metaverse is actually the 3D internet. It's a three-dimensional version, the future of the internet, where you'll have more interesting, more interactive experiences that will take place in 3D on the web. And we're building all the tools that are necessary to make that work. So it starts with creation. The first product, we use generative AI to be able to create entire 3D environment much faster. That doesn't replace what you would do on Unity and Unreal, but it complements it. Then we have a platform to publish and host the content, and we focus that a lot on the Middle East. A lot of our clients are the governments in Dubai, in Saudi, in Qatar, and they need pretty resilient systems to make sure that the content is hosted in their country, that they keep ownership of the data. So really creating white label Metaverse platforms. That's what this tool is doing. And then we have a monetization tool where if you wanted to drive revenue from the virtual world by selling virtual items or integrating brands for like advertising, we have the tools to also do that. And the last tool is using Matera, we're able to bring those worlds on chain. So if you put these 4 products side by side, we basically provide this end-to-end solution for any brand or big corporate or even government who wants to build immersive experiences, white label, deployed directly on the web. and we provide that as a one-stop shop. This is why we were able to onboard a lot of customers very quickly, because the appetite for Metaverse has changed a lot over the past few years, and we've moved from closed down platforms like Roblox or Decentraland and Sandbox to more open platforms, which is more of a 3D website. It doesn't have to be a destination, but more something that you can integrate on top of your existing website to create a more interactive experience directly from your main digital property. Initially, the idea was that Matera was going to be a product of Landvault. We work with a lot of governments here in the Middle East, and we had a lot of requests for these virtual experiences that we are building to be available on chain. So the ability to mint some content as NFT, to have a token that creates an economy, or, you know, just using cryptocurrency as a means of payment or currency within the experience. So we initially set out to build a very simple protocol where you would very quickly, without the need to create your own smart contract, you'd be able to pick assets that you want to mint as NFTs, create a token with a fixed supply, and basically bring worlds on chain without the need for your own smart contract. All the complexity was abstracted and built on our side. It turns out that what we had built could be applied to non-3D content as well. So instead of just being a protocol for people who are building 3D experiences, this can actually be extended to any creator network. And by creator network, we mean platforms like Facebook would be one, or Instagram or Spotify, any platform where you have a dynamic of someone is creating some kind of content and someone is consuming it. Actually, Matera can be applied to that platform and create a different economy by creating a Web3 layer on top of those Web2 platforms. So the mission became not just to help a few clients bring their virtual worlds on chain, but actually to bring the entire creator economy on chain, to create a better future for creators. As we know, anyone is a creator today, if you include social media and those apps, right? 300 billion people create content every single day. It's a huge industry, but it's very hard still to make a living out of it. Only 4% of creators make, a six-figure salary. And most of the money is, about 90% of the money is aggregated in the top 1% of creators. So there's a huge long tail of creators who are not making money. They're not able to live from their art, from their creations. And we believe that Web3 can be a big catalyst to accelerate that. And so we decided to extend the vision that Matera had to support any type of creators. So now it is not a Metaverse play at all. It is a creator economy play. In fact, it's basically bringing DeFi to the creator economy. And of course, if you're building Metaverse content, you can use Matera to do exactly what I said before, create an economy inside your content and mint your asset as NFTs. But you can also do that if you are creating music content on a platform like Spotify, if you're creating videos on TikTok, if you're blogging on Medium, you can basically integrate Matera as a Web3 layer on top of those Web2 creator platforms. So that's why, we've made a lot of changes over the past couple months, and the idea pre-launch is going to be to go with that much broader positioning. Matera is not just for the 3D internet. It's really for any type of creator networks, and that includes social media, that includes blogs, that includes gaming. It's a way to bring this creator economy on chain, and the Metaverse and 3D internet is a small section of that. So Landvault is already a SaaS platform. We work with the largest institution helping build Metaverse worlds for the likes of the Saudi government and Dubai government. And of course, as those worlds are going to want to go on chain, we're going to use Matera to be able to do that. So Landvault is the first developer on top of the Matera protocol, which is solving this cold start problem, because at the beginning, you want a lot of people to build. And of course, Landvault is not going to be the only developer. We want other people to build on it. In fact, we have 2 other apps that are already starting to be built on top of Matera by other developers. But the partnership with Landvault means that Landvault would take Matera to market in the Metaverse vertical. And then we have other developers that would build application for Matera on top of social networks, on top of games. So we're trying to cover every single vertical this way. But the partnership with Landvault means that we already have the Metaverse one covered. So immediately, right off the bat, we'll have Matera being the chain powering virtual worlds for governments of the Middle East, which is going to be a pretty interesting announcement to make as we are launching the token, because that obviously has millions of people and millions of dollars in transactions as well. The great thing about the team that works at Matera is we've been working together on initially the Landvault side for 2 or 3 years now. Specifically, our VP of Engineering, Martin, and our VP of Product, Luke, they have great experience from initially Web 2 at IBM all the way to Web 3 like Boson Protocol, Kudo Venture, the decentralized hosting. So great experience leading product and technology for cutting edge Web3 companies. And at Landvault, we started also building our own Web3 products. And when we decided that the company should be separate and that Matera should be its own team, they basically moved with that. So Marcin, Luke, they're full-time now leading the product and tech development on Matera. We have a Web3 tech lead that was at Binance before, a bunch of other engineers that were at Twitch, and our marketing head of marketing was leading marketing for Human Protocol before. And then we have other developers that were at BitMEX and Facebook and so on. So we have quite a large experience pool, not just from Web3, but I think it's really important to have people that understand scale as well and understand the user experience of Web2, because here we're building a tool for the creator economy. And not all of these creators are Web3 people, and we should really abstract that complexity, make sure that it's the slickest experience that will enable anyone to log in. So I think having experience from the Web2 world, where we build great products with great scale, and to marry that with the Web3 experience, this is why this team is really special. The way that it works, if you're a creator, and we'll actually release this in a couple of weeks as part of our MVP, you'll be able to go into the Matera webpage, and the experience here starts with connecting your social accounts. So initially we'll support X, but eventually we'll support other platforms as well. And from there, we'll basically be retrieving data from your profile, followers, engagements, all of that, and be able to compute a score that represents social capital. So effectively your influence on those platforms. And then that score will then be traded against liquidity on the network. So again, the whole idea of Matera is that the main problem with the creator economy is liquidity. We want creators to be able to monetize what they are building much faster. They should be able to access financing as well, regardless of what they are building. It could be Metaverse, it could be social media, it could be music. So the type of content almost doesn't matter anymore. We're building something generic to apply to the entire economy of the creator economy. So that's basically the concept. Log in, get your score, and then using that score, the more influential you are, the more likely you are to be able to have people to stake on your behalf and other creators and fans to support you. And the whole idea of Matera is being able to access liquidity directly from the protocol that you're building to create an economy that is more liquid for the creators. So yeah, the ownership economy is the concept that in Web3 users and creators should really own and control a part of the network that they are building on, and also benefit financially from the growth of that network. So in Web 2, obviously this is not the case, where you have the platforms that control, make all the decisions and reap the rewards and now valued in the trillions of dollars. In Web 3, what we're proposing is to create that layer on top of existing Web 2 platforms. And by doing that, you basically create a Web 3 economy which is centered around ownership and adds additional benefits for the creators. So, for example, creators can get fans to stake on their behalf. If you believe that a creator is going to do well, you can back him by staking on their behalf. That, of course, earns you some yield, but also provides a way for the creator to increase his social capital score, meaning that is then more competitive to then borrow capital or access the liquidity that is provided by other users. And by doing that, all of that would be based on our token, the Matter token, which will represent, in a way, this social capital and these interactions. So owning that token, as the network becomes more popular and there's more activity, the token price, hopefully goes up. And this is how we are turning those creators into owners. So that's the idea. It's about tokenizing social capital and enabling the creators to benefit from the growth of the network. With the Matter token, you'll basically be able to, as I said, support your favorite creators. So even if you're not a creator yourself, you might see it as an interesting opportunity to back a specific creator to access more exclusive information from them, and also the potential that the token price goes up. The other thing is, I mentioned the social score, and there are current Web 2 platforms that also provide a social score. But the problem with them is they are basically controlling the formula of what this score is. So they can, at any time, they can change it and say, actually, we don't want to have a bigger weight for video creators. We want to now focus on text. And if you're a video creator, you can be really affected by that because you don't control the score. The concept here is the Matter holders will, as a DAO, as a governance function, will be able to decide on the calculation of the social score as well. So initially we calculate the score, we provide a formula, but we fully expect that very quickly the Matter holders will be able to tweak the parameters, change the weights to reinforce that formula and make it more foolproof and less centralized. So the governance element here is actually quite important because it will affect all the distribution of value within the network. And that's really our goal. It's as opposed to Web 2 networks that centralize the governance, centralize the fees, and have a lot of power to change those fees and to change the way that the revenue is distributed in the network. Here, this will all be governed by the Matter holders. So it's really a network that is by creators, for creators, and they can truly decide of the repartition of wealth on that layer that is on top of existing Web 2 platforms. This is also what's pretty unique about Matera is we're not intending to replace Web 2 networks because we know how big they are. There's billions of people using it. The switching costs are very high. It's very hard to say, I'm going to stop using X and I'm going to put all my eggs into this new social network, but when no one yet is really active. We know that's difficult for creators that don't want to do that. So our approach instead is to build a Web3 layer on top of those existing networks. So you really get the best of both worlds. You get the scale of the Web2 networks with all your social capital that is already there. But on top of that, you create an economy, a Web3 economy, and giving creators the right support, the right access to finance, the right liquidity, and the right to govern also how that network is actually working. This is basically a way for the protocol to verify a few things where the creator submits a piece of content, whether it's a 3D content or could be a video or it could be something else. We want to be able to understand what that is, not us, but the network itself, to be able to provide more value for the creator. So the idea behind that concept specifically for 3D asset was to create this unique fingerprint to be able to verify the authenticity of the asset, so that if someone else was to copy the asset or someone else was to use an asset that didn't have the right copyright, you'd be able to see it. That fingerprint would be different. And that can be generalized to other types of content as well. We're actually using AI to, for example, if you're providing a video and you're talking about certain things, to be able to compute the right score, the right social capital score, understanding what the content is about is very important, because I can say, okay, you're actually talking a lot about crypto and metaverse, so your social score should be very high for those topics, but not necessarily for other things that you're not talking about. So using those score, verifying the assets, which means verifying the creations in different ways depending of their format, is going to be a very important part to refine this social capital score, to make sure that we're able to basically rank creators or provide the right benchmark for creators, because that score really becomes a benchmark. And then you access this DeFi tool, right? Access liquidity, access all of the things that Matera will provide. And this score basically determines how likely you are to be able to access some of that liquidity. We obviously thought a lot about this. This is, it didn't start as like, okay, we need to launch a token. What could we do? And then working backwards from there, because I think that would be the wrong way to approach it. The way that it started is we have this Metaverse SaaS platform that is now being used across the Middle East very successfully. And a lot of our clients are interested to bring these worlds on chain. And so instead of us manually coding smart contracts for every project, we thought, let's build a tool, let's build a product around that to quickly bring those worlds on chain. And then throughout the development, we realized that actually this could be generalized to not just Metaverse, but the whole creator economy, which is very interesting. And, we're talking about an economy that is already $250 billion and that is supposed to grow to double in the next couple of years. The creator economy is exploding, but we know the limitations, and everyone knows that Web3 is the way to solve it, but no one's really sorted it properly. You have a lot of platforms that introduce NFTs and social tokens, and they generally do quite well, but then there's no real backing behind it. It hasn't really solved the problem yet. There's been experiments, but nothing concrete. And our vision is that it's liquidity that the creators need. So if you build it as a DeFi platform, a liquidity layer, this can actually solve the problem. So we just got really passionate about that concept, and we realized that actually the potential of Matera is, first of all, is very different. It's not SaaS. It's a DeFi tool, and we didn't want to be only connected to Landvault, which is limited to the Metaverse use case, but we wanted this to be used by anyone. So it actually made more sense from a structural perspective to have it as a foundation, as a protocol that anyone can build on top of. Landvault being one of the user, and of course we have a close partnership there, but it shouldn't be the only user. So when we realized the potential of what we were building, we actually thought the best way to extract as much value from it would be to create a separate foundation. And of course, then the token started to make sense because it's the native token. This is how we'll capture fees. We'll have our own layer 2. So it becomes its own infrastructure for the creator economy. And Landvault is just one of the builders. So that's how we went from thinking about it as a product to thinking about it as a separate infrastructure. The first milestone is we actually closed our strategic round a couple of months ago now. That was a very exciting round with quite a few really high-profile investors. We'll release that very soon as we are starting to talk about Matera more in public. mid-April, we're also going to release our MVP. So this will be the first time that there is a Matera platform. Creators will be able to go on the platform. They will be able to access the early services. So it's going to be more like, sign up, use the platform, limited functionalities. The more you use it, the more you qualify for a future airdrop. And there'll be all kinds of social mechanics. If you invite friends, you get a higher bonus. So it's going to be a way to galvanize interest for Matera initially and get hopefully the first users, first creators to sign up and use the app ahead of time. And then from there, the idea is to build traction, keep releasing new features, new integrations, one with Landvault, one with social media. So we start to see how this platform can really help creators across different verticals. And then, announcing more partnerships. And then we'll have, by the summer, we'll be able to launch on launchpads, and the idea is to launch the token in September. So that's the preliminary roadmap. There will be another pre-sale in between as well, like a private sale. So yeah, we're basically full steam ahead now, and within the next few weeks, you'll start to see a lot of activity about Matera. Yeah, one of the big partnerships we're doing now is layer two and layer ones. So we are starting on the EVM chain, of course, and we're currently integrating our layer 2 partners, but we also want to be multi-chain. I think this is a big part of our strategy. The creator economy should not be limited to a chain. So what are the next chains that we're going to build on? This is, basically what we are signing up now. So there will be a lot of interesting partnership with like infrastructures, layer 1, layer 2s over the next couple of weeks. The beautiful thing about building a product for the creator economy is that you can use, the creators are not just going to use our tool and make more money and access liquidity and all of that, but they'll also be at the same time talking about what Matera does for them. That's the goal. And this is why the first product for Matera, the first integration on top of social media, will basically create this campaign where as creators and influencers use the protocol to access more liquidity, to fund their profile, to monetize their social capital better, they will at the same time talk about the product, because that happens on the same platform where they're normally promoting products. So that's how we're engineering the growth loop. In practice, it's a little bit more complicated, but you'll see all of that when we are launching the MVP towards the middle of April. We really are building a tool. I'm beyond excited about this tool, because I really think that this is a tool that kind of makes sense. Like everyone's expecting Web3 to benefit creators. We know that the solution was not just creator tokens or creator NFTs. That works for some, but that doesn't work for everyone. But creating this layer of liquidity by bringing DeFi to creators in a way that is very seamless, not complicated, just no nonsense, but accessing that liquidity for creators is going to be a real game changer. So I hope that everyone listening here, no matter of the size of their accounts, it's not about being a Twitter influencer. Quite the opposite, actually. This is a tool that should level the playing field and really enable anyone to either get started or grow their profile or monetize it better. And so we're really trying to build something that just makes sense, and there's no reason not to use it. So if you interact early with Matera, the rewards are going to be pretty high as a early adopter. So that would be my what I'm asking here. If anyone watching, just make sure to follow us so that you don't miss the launch of the MVP in a couple of weeks. Well, the first part is going to be to be part of that MVP launch, and basically, as you interact with the early version of the product, this would qualify users for an incoming airdrop a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months after that. So we don't have the exact dates to actually redeem the airdrop, but the set date is to start using the MVP, start connecting your account, start being a creator on the platform, and from there the airdrop will be a reward for that early engagement.